First, live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Fox 12 Now. I am Greg Nibbler. As always, appreciate all of you joining us here today. We've got a lot that we're going to be covering throughout the day. A little bit later, I'm going to have Eric G. from Around the House Northwest, who's going to be joining the show to talk about some fall tips to help save your house, help work on your house, get this stuff done now. He's going to have all of that for us. I'm also going to be playing an interview with U.S. Representative Andrea Salinas, who actually sat down with me and we talked about the Farm Bill and a lot of different things that are affecting Oregonians. So all that's coming up later on today's show. But right now, we're talking about something that is coming up on October 2nd, and that is the Oregon Charity Golf Tournament that's going to be happening, the Oregon Charity Championship. And this is going to be involving 32 different nonprofits who are going to be out there competing for prizes and also spreading the word about what they do and about their nonprofits. And that's what we're going to be doing right now, because I am joined by the executive director of Rosehaven. I've got Katie O'Brien here. Katie, thank you very much for joining us today, and I really appreciate you being a part of the show, but also, being here to showcase and talk about what you do, what Rosehaven is. And I think maybe let's start from there. For everybody who doesn't know, can you talk about Rosehaven and what you do?
Sure. Thank you for the opportunity. Rosehaven is a daytime shelter located in Northwest Portland, and we serve women, children, and gender diverse folks who are experiencing poverty. Some are housed, but others have been, chronically living outside for a long time. So we provide basic services, but also access to social workers who can help navigate the resources that people need to find housing and recovery and employment and all sorts of things.
That's a wide range of services there. I think, going through kind of piece by piece, specifically, for people who may find other shelters. Can you explain, why specifically this is for the, women and non-binary and other people who may be threatened other places?
Yeah, we're the only daytime shelter in Portland that serves this demographic, and we really understand the importance of, nighttime shelter is obviously super important, but daytime shelter, to be open and be a place where people can get basic needs met, but also once you can start relying on those things being there for you, you're positioned to consider other possibilities for your life. And so those daytime hours are really important to kind of move the dial with people. And we've been doing this for 26 years now. We're good at it. We're busier than we want to be, given the challenges that the city and our state and our country and the world are facing around homelessness.
I was going to ask about that, actually, just, having that long of a time span to see, changes. How have things been over the last few years compared to maybe some of those other years?
Oh man, they've been tough. They've been tough, most importantly on the people that we serve. We had been seeing a lot of people prior to the pandemic, about 3,000 people a year. And we never closed during the pandemic, but we've seen such a huge decline in the physical and mental condition of people who are needing our support. So we've gone from more of like this community-oriented place would have all of these options to refer people to for access to things that they need in their lives, to being more of a crisis center where people are coming and there's so much trauma and severe need that it's been an adjustment for us, not just in terms of the volume of people, but how people are arriving at our front door is a lot different.
And I would imagine some of those services too that you mentioned, more than just shelter and some basic needs, there's crisis, and I would imagine some trauma, some counseling, some kind of thing that have to go along with that as well.
Yeah, and that's where we've really kind of beefed up our programs here, trying to be responsive to need at all times, which, is tough.
Yeah.
But we have 3 social workers on site who do that one-on-one navigation for folks. Everybody here is trained in how to support people emotionally, how to de-escalate folks, how to find resources. I think, even my fundraising team is, sometimes just helping people navigate options for themselves because they're changing or they're not available or they're unclear to people who don't have access to computers or other resources. So that, in addition to the fact that we added a mental health program to help bridge the gap in services there, because we've seen such a significant decline in folks. And so we do have 3 on-site folks to help in that way, to do support groups, some one-on-one therapy, and then that crisis intervention piece.
I mean, it's such a wide, going back to saying what I said before, such a wide range of different options and, things that you have there to help people out. How does it feel for you, when somebody comes in there and they're in need for whatever service that it is, that you're able to provide that for them and maybe help them and move forward to some step?
Yeah, I would say that it never feels like enough. But to be able to come to work every day and show up for people, I know how many people in our city are hurting, and I know how many people in our community want to help people. And so to be given that opportunity to be with and beside people and help try to make that difference in people's lives feels good. I think it's one of the reasons that we have over 700 active volunteers from our community here, because you are really close to the people that you are getting to serve and serve with. And so those relationships, it's, a lot of times we're just seeing people outside in tents, but we don't remember that those are individuals living inside of there. And people, so the ability to really directly connect with people is really important. And it's important to our guests. Homelessness is really isolating. So to provide community support in a very level atmosphere where everybody's treated the same, whether you're the executive director or a guest here or a volunteer, there's this single platform of respect that we operate on. And it's quite, in spite of what brings people to our front door, it's really beautiful on the inside here.
That's amazing. I mean, and also just being there for somebody who may feel like there are no other options out there. There's no lifelines, there's no help, and to be able to provide some of that, that's great.
Yeah, I would add to that we also are helping keep people in housing. We serve a lot of children and a lot of families who really all they can really afford is the roof over their head. So we gave backpacks and school supplies to 250 kids yesterday.
Wow.
We provide diapers and resources for moms who are just really having a hard time making ends meet. So keeping people in housing is such a priority for us as well.
Well, you mentioned I think you said 700 volunteers that are working. Can you tell us some more about that? Kind of expand upon the ways that people can volunteer and help out with Rosehaven?
Yeah, so Rosehaven really was founded on the goodwill of community. We don't get any government funding, so all of our fundraising comes from our community, which is an unusual model given the great public service we provide. And community supports us in many ways. They give us in-kind donations that, of good clothing and hygiene and supplies that we can give out to guests. They donate their time, and then again, financially, they can contribute as well. So if people are interested in volunteering, we've got some information on our website and an application, and we follow up with everybody and bring them in and show them more about the work and see if it feels like a good fit.
I'm also just interested in how people find you. Say somebody is in need, but maybe they don't know, how to go to Rosehaven, or do you do outreach to some communities that are at need, or do you let them know, that you're available? Like, what is the best way for that to happen?
Yeah, a lot of it happens word of mouth from people who are living on without the means they need. It also happens because we sit so central to people and we connect people to these resources. There's a lot of community partners that do referrals to us to assist with that navigation. So we've never really done any outreach. Unfortunately, we don't have to. The demand is so great that we're almost scared of doing it in some ways, because the demand is exceeding our ability to meet people's needs and keep pace with the things that need to be brought in, the money that needs to come in to support that, but also the items and the volunteers. So it's a very delicate balance that I think we're always in. But we are on track to probably serve about 4,000 people this year.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, let's talking about the nonprofit and talking about what is coming up. We have this switching to golf, which is an odd transition, but it is important.
I was wondering how you were going to make that smooth.
Yeah, I know that not beautifully how I just did that, but nonetheless, talking about helping charities out and helping nonprofits and helping different organizations get the word out, or be at least have people know everything that they're doing and find out different ways that they can help out. We do have the Oregon Charity Championship Golf Tournament, which is coming up, which has some great money involved in it as well. That's going to be available. Well, for some of the winning teams, I think that can win some money to actually help out, and that's what I want to talk about there. So let's do this first. So there's the $25,000 grand prize, and there's $50,000 total that I think is going out, but $25,000 grand prize. What would you do with the $25,000 if you won it?
Oh man, there's so much we could do. I would say that the most important thing to do is to be able to just keep these general operations going, and the continued further investment in our mental health and advocacy programs is really important to us, because that one-on-one care is what people really, really are needing right now. So we would definitely earmark that to support those programs.
Would you say, I mean, everything obviously is an important need depending on what somebody is going through, but mental health, you've mentioned that a few times. That seems to be kind of a really big priority right now. Is that right?
It really is. And, we've got a daytime camping ban that's going to be enforced soon. And we're anticipating that will continue to kind of traumatize some folks who don't really know or are able to kind of navigate moving around, 12 hours every day. So we imagine that that's going to bring a lot more people forth with some additional challenges that we're going to need to address with them. So interesting times.
It really is. Yeah. So much so. Well, part of this also, bringing all of these nonprofits together is that you all can talk to each other as well. I mean, maybe there's some ways that some can help out each other. But with that being said, how does it feel to be a part of something like this?
It just feels so great to be asked. I mean, really, for us, trust me, I'm probably the most competitive person you're ever going to meet. But all that aside, the exposure, just being able to be here today and talking with you is such a gift. It's not like we go out and we spend a lot of money on marketing our services or trying to get more people to be aware of the good work we're doing. So I'd have to say I already feel like a winner. Not that we're not going to go for first prize, but yeah, the exposure alone feels really, really meaningful.
Which is great, because that makes sense. That's not where you'd be spending your time. I mean, you're helping people, so coming up with a marketing plan is probably not on the top priority there. So I'm glad that this can help at least get the word out some. Okay, so when it comes down to golf, though, you mentioned how competitive you are. So, are you a good golfer?
I am not a golfer, and I will not be playing in this tournament. I am smart enough to know that I should not be in this foursome.
That's a good director. Designate that. Do you have a good team? Do you think you're going to be competitive?
I don't know who the team's going to be, and I know we'll be competitive.
There we go.
I would love for us, if I can, to maybe develop a female team.
Nice.
And really, really show up with some female girl power. But we have not designated who's playing yet. I was looking for the fine print on the rules to find out.
I actually don't know either. So
what are we talking here?
Yeah, I was going to say, so I was about to say, maybe if somebody's out there who is a very good golfer who could get a hold of you. I don't know the fine print either, though, so I don't want to get in trouble, but
yes, I'm using this as an opportunity for anybody who cares about our cause here and might have a nice golf game. You don't have to be female. I'm accepting all applicants right now.
So get a hold.
Yeah,
and speaking of that, actually, that's something really important, I think, to end on too, is for anybody out there, what is the best way to not only get a hold of you for whatever reason, but also to follow along with everything that Rosehaven does, whether it's they want to volunteer or however that is?
Thank you for asking. Rosehaven.org is our website, and that is where you're going to find information about volunteering. You're going to find information about the kind of supplies that we need. We post weekly what our greatest needs are for in-kind donations. It's where you can make a financial contribution And it's also where you can go to sign up to get our newsletter, which would keep you informed about all things, including when we win this tournament. That will be front page of our newsletter.
That's email blast worthy right there. Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, Katie, thank you very much for joining me today. It really is so nice to talk to you, and just thank you for all the stuff that you do for helping everybody out. I have allergies really bad right now, so of course that happened at the end. I'm just getting choked up. But yeah, seriously, thank you very much for joining us. Really, really appreciate it, and thanks for being here on Fox 12 Now.
My pleasure. Thanks so much.
And thanks everybody for joining. See, if we're live, so just to prove that right there. So we are broadcasting live on our social media channels, our apps, and our website, and appreciate everybody who's joining in with this. Coming up here in just a little bit, I've got Eric G from Around the House Northwest. We're going to be talking about tips to keep your house from falling apart in the fall. So these are good tips. You're going to want to know those. And also, a little bit later, I've got U.S. House Representative Andrea Salinas, who's going to be joining to talk about the Farm Bill and also mental health awareness, and different initiatives that she has to help bring more mental health awareness, more things to people who are really in need. So that's all coming up here on the show. I'm going to sign off for just a minute. I'll be back at 1:30 p.m. Pacific. I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12 Now.